Well, hello, gorgeous woman. If you're watching this, then you're in for such a treat. I have been so looking forward to this interview with the beautiful Frances all week, and I knew this was coming right from the very beginning when I saw you enter into the Wealthy Woman Mastermind. So, Frances, thank you so much for giving up your time and your energy and your wisdom for the beautiful women who are going to watch this. Let's kick off with you, maybe introducing yourself, sharing a little bit about what you do as a coach and how did you get into this to begin with?
Okay, well, my name's Frances. I am a women's empowerment coach, and I work with women who are in their midlife era or season, whichever term we like to use. And what I find with women sort of in this age range is they've started to, or not started to, for a long time, they've been disconnected to who they actually are. I have so many women who say to me, Frances, don't ask me what it is I like to do because I've got no idea. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I don't like. I just know I don't want what I've currently got. So what I find is they have really lost with who they are. They look in the mirror and they're like, I don't recognize that person. Where did the last 20 something years go? Where did those extra wrinkles and grey hairs come from? And so what we do is we sort of work together to make sure no longer are they wondering who the hell they are. No more do they wonder where the shiny, sparkly version of themselves went. They reconnect with themselves and they find hobbies they never knew they would like, and they have more of a, I guess, a bit of a beginner's mindset almost, and kind of start life again.
Wow.
Um, but with the beauty of all the wisdom that they've accumulated over the years. And they find out it actually is really valuable wisdom. They,
Yeah.
they can use it and people want to hear about it. So they're not sort of putting themselves on the shelf anymore. They're getting out and they're doing things and they're living their life. And so they might find a bit of a shift in their career, in their health, in the relationships around them.
Mm.
So it's really beautiful. What started? I guess for me, it started probably a long time ago. I always knew deep down I thought it was a psychologist or a counselor I wanted to be. But I really didn't want to study those. I had children very young, and had, broken relationships and all of those sorts of things. I've always been the odd one out. And then I went into human resources and learning development and change management. And I was going to right the world, right all the problems, solve all the problems in the corporate land. And as you would know as well, it's bigger than one person to solve. So became very disgruntled. There was the bullying, there was the toxic politics and behaviors and all of those sorts of things. And I couldn't work out what was wrong. And I thought it was something that was wrong with me. And one day I just sort of went, to the hell with this. I know there's actually nothing wrong with me. I'm not perfect, but there's nothing wrong with me. I keep attracting these sorts of behaviors and actions. And why is that? So I delved a little bit deeper into what was going on for me and my mindset and my beliefs, and knew that I still really wanted to right some wrongs and help some people, but there was a better way I could do it. I could do it more one on one, more personally, more authentic, all the buzzwords, but more personalized to that person as well, depending on what was going on for them, and really just be a sounding board. So, COVID, it's one of the great things for me that came out of COVID. I'm like, right, I've got some time on my hands, and it's time to stop talking about it and take some action. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so important. I remember that time was huge for everyone. And so
Mm.
then, you haven't had the easiest start though, have you?
No. Oh, oh, no. I came from, I mean, it depends on how far back you want to go. I came from, my mum and dad weren't in the best relationship. So there was some stuff there and many leavings and coming backs and all of those sorts of stuff. And I remember saying to my mum, why are you going back? And I think I was 16 when I said that to her. of course, then I found myself in some difficult relationships myself down the track, and you sort of go, "Oh, I kind of get why you go back. It's not so easy to get out of that." And and then single parenting, and then being a mature age student to go to uni, and being the only person ever in my family to go to uni. So there were some expectations there, ones that I placed on myself, but also some other ones. And then there was this real got to prove to everybody else that, look, Frances actually is successful. She can do it. And again, that was all expectations that I put on to myself. And then, yeah, watching your kids grow up, not in the way that you had dreamt, it's not the family you dream of, a split family and those sorts of things. So then you go into business. We'll ignore the toughness of corporate lands and getting the dream job that you work so hard for and go into debt with HECS for. And then you finally take the leap and you start business. And everybody promises you that all you need to do is just post every day on Instagram.
And how'd that go?
Well, look, I've met some really lovely people, but it definitely did not get me income. I've never had one client from Instagram. I've never had one client come from Instagram.
So because you'd already worked with someone else, we're not going to get into that, but
Yep.
you had already invested. So you like, okay, I'm in a corporate role. I understand the importance of learning, and I know, there's a gap that I don't have. I haven't started my business before. So you go work with someone, and then you learn something. And then how long were you like in business for before you came in to working with us?
So I kicked off business in 2021, and I think I've worked with probably three other people before I came to work with you. Um, and yeah, so what's that, 3 years, give or take? I'm into the third year mark.
And
Mm.
how much revenue, if you don't mind me asking, like have you brought in over that period of time?
Since working with yourself?
No,
With
before.
before. It probably wouldn't even register on a spreadsheet. So 20, 20 grand.
Over 3 years.
Yeah. Definitely didn't look like it was going to replace my corporate income, help pay my mortgage,
Yeah.
pay for business coaches or marketing or all the things that you dream about. You think you're going to have a VA, or not that I had dreams for any of those things, but you thought you would have the choice.
Yeah.
And in the 3 years, it's been very hard, even with my learning mindset, to go knowing that you've got to invest. It's been very hard to say yes to things because you're wondering where your next money's coming from.
And why didn't you give up?
And that's not really like me. I don't do that. um, and I didn't give up because I know that this is what I was always meant to do. One hand on my heart, I know that the people that I connect with, they get it when we connect. So that was what was also difficult about Instagram, was different sort of connection. Um, with everything I had learned, I had so much wisdom, and just pure empathy. And I think there's probably two real key things if we want to get into the vulnerable stuff, and that's my daughter and my grandbaby. Do not want them, I want them to know there's always options and they always can choose. And secondly, it's the women that I hear every single day that say, I can't do that. I'm too old for that. It's too late for me. I can't afford that. No, that's easier for you than it is for me. You're so lucky. I have to ask my husband for that. No, I'm not allowed to do that. All of those things break my heart every single day because I know it's not true. They're stories, and it feels very true. It feels so true when you're in it. But it's not. It's not true at all. And so I'm 51 now. I'm a late bloomer to the business world and those sorts of things, but I'm not giving up. Mm.
I love that.
I just don't. Once I've got my teeth into something and once I know, I see the need for it, I see the women that are struggling, and I just won't stop.
Mm. So, so 3 years of commitment, of focus. You're a highly educated woman. You've been successful in a career before, but
Yeah.
still wasn't, moving through. How long have you been with us now?
6 months to 6 weeks, 2 months,
Yeah.
around that. Yeah.
And how much have you brought in that time?
I've brought in just under 10,000.
10 what? $10,000. How
Yeah.
does that feel?
Feels fantastic. I can't stop celebrating it. I've had the best month I've ever had in business. But that best month represents so much. I'm not a money chaser. I've got bills to pay and I've got a lifestyle. And I've got a dog and my grandbaby and all of those sorts of people that I want to enjoy life with. I've got a mortgage. I'm just like everybody else. I've got a husband that's sort of saying, are you sure this is right? Are you sure? So, I kind of want to prove it to him as well. But I've got all of that going on. Um, but it's the fulfillment. It's that I'm coaching women. I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do, what I know I'm good at. I'm having fun. And yeah, it's just fulfilling. How good is it to be able to, I'm never going to post it on social media, how much I earn. I'm not in the type of role to do that, but how good it is to be able to say to you, hey, Sophie, I made 10,000. Like it's
Right?
so good. It feels so good to do that.
Feels like you're a businesswoman now, doesn't it?
I am a businesswoman.
You're a businesswoman now.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
So what do you think the shift was, or what's the difference in these last 6 weeks or so from before?
Yeah. I've taken some deep thinking to think about this and know that I've been talking to some of the other coaches about it as well. And it really is I came into this going, this is it. This is where it works or it doesn't. I'm just going to throw everything they tell me to do. I'm going to try not to question it. And I'm going to try not to say I don't want to do that or I've tried that before. I'm just going to throw everything at it and I'm going to do it. And you literally in the mastermind have provided step by step for us to do. And when we try and get a little bit ahead of ourselves, you're very good, you and the team at sort of saying, hey, hang on a second, focus on that one thing, do that one thing, just focus on this. And I just followed the steps. I just followed the steps and I did the things I didn't necessarily want to do. Or that I've been too scared to do. Bit of both there. Yeah.
And now that you've done those things that you originally thought you didn't want to do or you were too scared to do,
Mm.
were they hard? Were they that scary?
They were absolutely 100% scary when you first go to do it for the very first time. I'm not going to lie about that. But, so the thing I really didn't want to do was I didn't want to be messaging people that I hadn't met or had a conversation with. I come from an L&D background, change management, similar to yourself. We're talking person to person all the time. So I've been to networking groups, all of that sort of stuff. I didn't want to then almost cold message people. How do you even start a message like that? Well, luckily you tell us how to start a message like that. But so it was scary at first. And, even now a little bit comes up going, do you really want to do that? And I look at, my spreadsheet for the last month. I'm like, yeah, I do really want to do that. So was it scary? Yes, it was. But people actually really like to have a conversation in Messenger. Nobody's shooting me down. As I've said before, I did it and I didn't die. Like the fear was like, you're going to get abused, you're going to get ignored, people are going to think you're rude or you're crazy or whatever it is. And I've had out of I don't know how many messenger conversations I've had in the past 6 weeks, I've had two people go, "Why are you messaging me?" And it's actually been really easy to turn around as well and say, "Well, because I like to connect with people. That's it. I'd love to connect with you. If you don't want to, that's completely fine too." And now we're having conversations. It's so bizarre.
And now you've got those beautiful clients that you're able to now work with, and their lives will forever be changed because you move through a little bit of uncomfortableness in business.
yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah. It's
yeah.
great. It is an amazing feeling. And I don't know if you follow human design. I follow human design. I'm a Manny Gen, and my profile lines are 6'2". So I am a role model hermit. And I feel like I'm fully in a position where I can actually be a role model.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty hard to be someone that helps people move through their fears and blocks when you're not willing to move through your own fears and blocks.
100%. Yeah, you've got to be open to it. Yeah.
So
And
what's
so
the
if that's the vision you have for yourself, you've got to do it, right? You've actually got to do it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the support like on the inside of the Wealthy Woman Mastermind?
That has, I was trying to explain that to somebody else the other day when I was talking to them about maybe you should speak to somebody in the team. There's non-stop support, but the support doesn't just come from the coaches. The support comes from, so I was just on the mindset call this morning with Bianca, and everybody in there is cheering everybody on. We're all smiling, we're all throwing up happy love heart emojis when there's something to celebrate. Um, it's literally a safe place to be, have your opinion, to share a tip, something you've already been through, to just kind of vent how you're feeling about something today, celebrate those wins, which we do every week. And then, there's like 4 or 5 forms of coaching classes every week. And then you've also got your own coach as well to sort of help you through in between all of that. So the support is not lacking at all.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What advice would you have, Francis, to someone who might have been in a very similar situation to you? Maybe they have tried to get their business up and running, they had some success, but maybe it's slowed back down, or maybe they have invested multiple times with other mentors or programs, but still haven't been able to get things, clicking together. Maybe they're scared about the fact that, well, they haven't yet got a return on investment for previous investments. So, I hear this a little bit sometimes. I'm just going to keep doing it by myself until I get a return on that investment before I invest in learning how to get it working.
Yeah. That was me. That
Yeah.
was me. Because I'd spent so much money. And literally nothing sort of come from it. It's look, the very first thing that I would say to anybody is it does not hurt to have a conversation. So I would absolutely encourage, I would really, really encourage people to have a conversation with somebody from your team. I would encourage them to be in your Facebook group so they get a bit of a feel of some of the things that you guys provide, and test it out if they're really worried. Speak to if they know somebody who's been through the program, speak to them. But I guess then what I would say is ask yourself, do you actually really want to be in business or not? And if you do, then I would suggest they reach out to you guys. 100%.
Great advice.
It's great.
Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so. I think what I'm also seeing, I'm lucky. I say I'm lucky. I chose this path, but I'm sort of halfway through the program, roughly. And, you know, I've been watching some women obviously at the end of their program and signing off and saying goodbye to some of the great people that they've met and saying thank you to these guys. And I always feel a little bit sad for them when I see that they're leaving. But what I've taken away from that is, obviously there's other options there, but we still have all of the steps and we still have all of the things that we've learnt. And so you can't put a price on the fact that you can take all of that with you and continue that as you go along. So again, I think if anybody's really concerned about that, the support still continues. It's just different. And the tools are all still there for you to access. And you just keep using them.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel very safe. I feel very safe knowing that.
Good. What's next for Frances?
Another $10,000 month.
Yes. And we're not even finished the month. There's still a couple of days left in
Yeah,
this.
that's right. That's right. So another one coming up. And my plan is to build this to 20K months.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just keep going, matter of time, and a bit more elbow grease and a bit more
Conversation.
support. Yes. Thank you so much, Frances, for your time. I really appreciate it. Ladies, hopefully you took away what you needed to from today. And like Frances says, it's always best just to have a conversation, get your questions answered, and get the clarity around what this could look like for you. Appreciate you so much, Frances. Bye, ladies.
Bye.